to Take Me Out, the ultimate podcast about ballparks and the baseball experience. It's September 26, 2025. I'm Alexandra Ellis, and I'm joining my friend Timothy Malcolm.
What's up, baseball fans? Welcome to Take Me Out. The regular season is just about over.
Last series. This is the final series, and it's
as we're recording
so sad. It's like, I swear the season just started last month.
Well, it was in fact 6 months ago when the season started.
I don't believe you.
But yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, if you're listening to this anytime during the weekend, like it's the last weekend of the season and then the playoffs start. But this is, this is where we are. And It has been a fun season. It's really weird. I mean, I'm coming from a place where my favorite team is doing very well and they're in the playoffs and they're secured. They're the number 2 seed in the National League. We know that is locked in. So it's basically now just a waiting game until October 4th, which will be the first playoff game that they play.
Yeah.
So that's
and for
great.
my team, it's been very painful, quite literally, because we have had 30 players in the IL, which I think is actually quite impressive that we are still sniffing the playoffs. Like it's I'm not trying to be like, oh, but look at it this way, but it's like that's actually kind of impressive. Like
I always kept thinking that the Astros would make it to the playoffs because they're the Astros and God hates us, but. I mean, they really had a lot of injuries and they had a lot of obstacles, and I'm like pleasantly shocked that they were able to keep it up for so long. They did such a good job with what they had.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a tough year. I mean, look, congratulations to the Mariners and their fans. I mean, they had this cherished. What was I going to say? They had this this incredible run in the last month or two of the season, and man, I mean. What a season for Big Dumper. 60 home runs. Like, a catcher hitting 60 home runs is really awesome.
Yeah.
That crowd, that fandom, they're very excited. It's going to be.
Who was the last player to do that? Was it Buster Posey, maybe? Or who can you think of who would have done that? Other players? Catchers recently?
No, catchers never hit 60.
Wow. So, wow. You would think Buster Posey, too. Like, wow.
The only players who have ever hit 60 home runs in a season are Aaron Judge did it before, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Roger Maris, Babe Ruth. That's it.
God. And now Cal Raleigh. Good for him.
Cal Raleigh, yeah. So 7 players. I believe it's 7 players ever who've hit 60 home runs in a season. So, yeah, big stuff there. Congrats to the Mariners. Congrats to any team that is in the playoffs. It's going to be fun to see what happens in October. I'm excited. I'm pumped to get going. I'm pumped, but I'm also like so nervous about baseball. Playoff baseball is so nerve-wracking.
It's a whole different animal because you can't predict it. You really can't.
No, every single pitch matters, and it's many games, and it's just like you're going to lose at least one. So like, when is that happening? And hopefully you don't lose more. And it's just a whole thing. So, anyways, the regular season is closing, and that's what we're going to do here on Take Me Out this week. Thank you for being part of our show this week. We are going to spend the episode primarily recapping the 2025 Major League Baseball season as far as it was in the ballparks. We're going to talk about the new ballparks that came on board this year and our impressions of all that stuff. We're going to talk about the big storylines of the 2025 season at the ballpark, fans behaving badly, really poor games that were created, one-offs, anything else that we can think about. Maybe some good stuff, too. I'm sure there were good things that happened in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were. No, there were. We'll get into all that. We have some news to get to, of course. Huge news with the Rays. We have an update on the Fenway Park worker situation. All of that coming up. But first, Alex, first off, thank you to anybody who's watching, listening. But if you are doing so, Alex, how can they help us spread the word about Take Me Out?
Well, you're already halfway there. We appreciate it by giving us a good follow or a listen if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, any of the podcast platforms of your choice. If you're listening to us, thank you so much. It means a lot to us. While you're there, go to our landing page, and if you can give us a wonderful 5-star review, 5 stars, it'd be greatly appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. We're also on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. YouTube.com/TakeMeOutPod. Facebook, you can find us on Facebook, Facebook.com/TakeMeOutPod. And we are on Instagram as well at Instagram Take Me Out Pod. And we're also on Patreon. Tim, tell them about Patreon.
Patreon.com/take me out. 2 tiers there. The Loge is $3 a month and the Field is $5 a month. You get special content with both tiers, special episodes of Take Me Out. But if you are in the Field level, you will get special swag and fun stuff from us on the reg. That's what I'm thinking of. I was going to say the reg. On the reg? On the reg. I don't know. Whatever.
On the reg?
Things.
Reg. R-E-G?
On the regular.
I think it's your New England accent on the...
This is a thing that we said like 15 years ago on the reg, or I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
That's whack. That's cool. I don't know.
Whack is, I think, older than that. Anyways, if you go to patreon.com/take me out and you click one of those tiers and you get in and you pay, you will get special content either way. And the special content, we have a couple episodes of Take Me Out that are on the Patreon that are only for Patreon members, patrons. We have a review of Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. We have a guide to Philadelphia itself. Then we have a review of Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. So go to the Patreon, patreon.com/take me out, become a patron on either the Loge level or the Field level and get the special content. And if you're on the Field level tier, you can get even more from there. So please do that. Thank you so much. And I guess it's time we should just start talking about the news of this week. There's some big news to get into, so let's do it.
Yeah, man. Let's start with down in Tampa, or I guess we could go to Jacksonville. Rays sold to Jacksonville-based developer.
Well, he's from Jacksonville, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick Zalupski. So we've talked about him. We've talked about the Rays and this impending sale. It was announced a couple months ago that Patrick Zalupski, who is the CEO of Dream Finders Homes, which is basically a real estate company. He was going to buy the Rays. Stuart Sternberg, they had an agreement in place, but of course, Major League Baseball's owners had to agree to it. This happened a couple months ago. It wasn't going to be official until now, September. And in fact, on the 22nd, MLB owners unanimously approved Patrick Zalupski's purchase of the Tampa Bay Rays for $1.7 billion.
That's cool. $1.7 billion.
$1.7 billion for a franchise that, has been run like a $300,000 franchise. So let's be real.
I mean,
and a franchise that has done a lot with that paltry valuation.
Yeah, for sure.
They've done, I mean, as far as in-house, the front office and people who work with the Rays and how they've not only put together a competitive team, but also try to do whatever they could out of Tropicana Field to make it a fun experience. They've done a really good job with it. But now here comes an owner who bought it for $1.7 billion and seems like he really wants to turn the Rays into something really big and great for Florida. So there is obviously talk right away about where, new ballpark, all that stuff. So we've talked about this in the past couple episodes now. Basically, the Rays have a lease with Tropicana Field for the next couple of years. I believe it runs out after 2028. They are going to go back into Tropicana Field next season, starting with opening day there, the home opener. The field is being repaired. They had been putting new panels on the roof after the damage from the hurricane last year. And they're doing even more work as well once they get the roof panels on. And all of that is like a $50 million renovation. So that's a lot of money that they're putting into Tropicana. That said, they want to leave Tropicana. It sounds like Patrick Zalupski has sort of hinted that he wants to leave Tropicana and get an actual ballpark for the Rays, something that says Tampa Bay Rays, something that's maybe retractable and kind of brings the best of both worlds into play. Maybe it's in downtown Tampa near the Ybor City area, or maybe it's somewhere else in Florida. We don't know. I mean, Orlando's been batted about, but it sounds like Zalupski wants to keep this team in the Tampa St. Pete area, which would be great. St. Pete itself is a really cool little city. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Tampa's a good city too, but it's a little bit more spread out. It's a little bit more sort of like fragmented in places. So if it actually does make a lot of sense if they're going to go to Tampa, because if they do go to Tampa, Riverside area there, and they put themselves near Ybor City and near the, what's it called? It's like the Gaslight District. It's not the Gaslamp. That's in San Diego. It's something like that. The historic Gaslight. I think that's right. If they're in that area, which is very close to downtown, they basically are going into a slightly industrial area that's a lot of open space, and they could do what they want. And I think that's kind of where ballparks are trying to go these days. So
build another entertainment district kind of thing there.
Right.
Yeah.
Big, flashy ballpark, retractable roof, tons of suites, very modern looking. And then around that ballpark, you have an entertainment district. Maybe it's something like the Battery in the Atlanta area, or maybe it's something that's a little bit closer to the ballpark and more comfy and cozy, like Ballpark Village in St. Louis. Or maybe they bring in a Cordish companies to do Tampa Live or something like that, across the street from the ballpark. Either way, that's probably the road that they will go down, because that is where ballparks have been heading. But the Rays have this opportunity now with this new ownership to field a more competitive team on a regular basis and put more money into the payroll, put more money into that regular day-to-day operation, but also B, create a ballpark that is going to sort of look ahead to what ballparks can be in the future. There are a couple of these ballparks that we've talked about. Lone Depot in Miami is a ballpark that's kind of on its own island, but also like sort of a futuristic looking ballpark in a lot of ways. The Las Vegas ballpark that is being built right now for the Athletics, that should open in a couple of years. To me, that one might be the one that signals what the future of Major League ballparks will look like. But this one in Tampa has the ability to kind of usurp that and be a little different if they decide to do that, if they want to have a ballpark there. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of years. I would imagine that Zalewski's going to come into place as owner here. While the season closes, he's going to do the regular owner things. Maybe we'll hear some whispers in the new year about a new ballpark and proposals and sites where they might try to put one. And who knows, maybe by, let's say, 2030 or so, there is a new ballpark in the Tampa St. Pete area, and the Rays now have their sparkling new home, and they are like officially a baseball franchise that isn't just in an old like hockey arena. So this will be a lot of fun to see this develop.
I just hope wherever they end up, the new park is gonna. Who is they have that giant statue of the player coming out of the wall? Who is that?
The giant statue of the player coming out of the wall.
Inside, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, I have to look this up. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I probably do, but it just came out of nowhere with that one. What
because I'm hoping they can like transfer that guy. Player wall statue. Sorry, to the Google. This is gonna drive me crazy. They're not even showing it. Tropicana.
It's at Tropicana.
Yes.
Okay. I know I've seen this probably because I've been.
Yeah. Who is it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's the guy. It is Tropicana Field. Yeah, it's like in the. I'm not even finding it. Unless I'm losing my mind and just gaslighting myself. I don't know. I could be doing
it's okay. It's okay. Well, maybe they bring some stuff from Tropicana over to this new ballpark. I would honestly part of me would be surprised if they bring anything from Tropicana over to the new ballpark.
Right.
But again, we'll see if there is a new ballpark. I mean, there should be, new ownership, obviously, like a lot of things coming, with this. But it'll take some time, but it'll be really fun to watch.
It will be, yeah. Let's move up north to Fenway. Fenway Park workers file grievance against employer Aramark.
This is the latest in the Fenway Park workers' labor strife. They have been trying to negotiate a new contract with Aramark, which is the employer that does all the vendors at Fenway Park. Aramark, which is a Philadelphia-based company. They are big on the East Coast and do a lot of food and beverage. They also run, I forget what it is, but it's one of the music halls there, one of the music venues in Boston near Fenway Park. And all the workers are Aramark workers in both of those places. And so they've been trying to negotiate a new deal for months now. They went on strike back in July. They had a strike during a series when the Red Sox played the Dodgers at Fenway. And that was, eventful. It caused a lot of, there was news that came out of it with back and forth between striking workers and workers that Aramark employed on a contract basis to just come in and work the ballpark for the weekend. That was a whole thing. But now, Unite Here Local 26, which is the union that is representing the workers of Fenway Park, they have now filed a labor complaint against Aramark, saying that it retaliated against employees who participated in the strike. This comes from masslive.com. The complaint was filed September 18th with the National Labor Relations Board. It accused Aramark of cutting or changing hours, interrogating and video recording employees, and instructing workers to take off hats with the union logo and adding additional staff to, quote, dilute the tip pool. Quote from a union member of Unite Here, quote, "It's just another thing to add to the fight," says Natalie Greening. This is from Mass Live again. She continued, "We've had 2 bargaining sessions so far, and they, as an Aramark, haven't come to the table with anything. So, yeah, this continues to be a problem. We'll see what happens, but it really feels like this thing is not going to end until maybe even next season. I mean, now that the season's just about over there, yes, I mean, there will be maybe playoff baseball. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. Aramark does say that they're confident that none of the retaliation attempts took place that they are accusing them of. They are still without a new deal. The Red Sox could or could not host playoff games. I don't know if their season is over at Fenway. They're home. They're home this weekend to play the Tigers. I believe that's right. So that's big. But after that, it's up in the air whether they're going to host playoff because they're going to be in the wild card series, and they will likely have the second wild card, which means they will host. Will they host the Yankees or the Blue Jays? Or they'll play the Yankees or the Blue Jays? I think that might be what happens. Now, they could drop out. They could drop down to the 3, I think, and play maybe Cleveland or Seattle. I don't know. Either way, or maybe Cleveland. Anyway, it's up in the air whether they'll host playoff games, so who knows? This might be the end of the season for them coming up here, so we might not have a deal for a while. Nevertheless, I mean, this is just – it's just ugly at this point. This is a really ugly situation.
It is. I feel awful for the workers. It's because Aramark is it's if you're going to pit a corporation against workers and people, I'm always going to be on the side of the people. There's no option. I mean, it's because the corporations have so much power and they've got so much money and they want to keep that money and they're, not trying to get political in this, but it's just like, paying people a living fair wage should not be controversial. Yeah. And I know we've been saying this entire season talking about this issue, but I don't know how it's such a big deal that it's how is this controversial? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Aramark is thinking about their quote unquote bottom line and all the things that they have to think about going into the future and automation and trying to cut staff because that's the way we're going these days. And so they're trying to hold their end of the thing and, not to defend them at all, but I'm trying to see what their sort of arguments are. They haven't really said here's what we're trying to do. They're just saying, we haven't come to an agreement yet. It just sucks. And yeah, you should pay workers what they're worth and, they give them benefits. These are people who primarily either have part-time work as a living because they are maybe older and near retirement age or at retirement age, and maybe they just want a little bit of money on the side or whatever, and maybe they don't have enough money to kind of get by regularly, outside of Social Security, so maybe they're just adding a little bit more to it. Who knows? Or they're people who have 7 jobs or 5 jobs or whatever it is, and a lot of them. They are. And this is just part of their income. This is there's several different jobs that they have because they need to add up all that money each week to pay rent, to pay the bills, to get groceries, to support their families. And so you just got to pay these people. You got to pay these people what they're worth. You got to give them the benefits that they deserve. I mean, even if they are workers who work 81 days a year plus maybe playoffs or whatever, they still are working, they're working regular hours, they are doing the jobs, and everybody who works a job in this country should get benefits, should get opportunity, should get, the chance to sort of have a quality of life as well as working. It's just dumb. This is all dumb and they should be paid.
Yeah. That's a bottom line. Multiple events have been announced for multiple ballparks.
There's not much else news going on. We're closing in on the end of the season here, so there's not really a lot more to talk about. But there have been some events announced for ballparks for both the winter and going into next season. So I just wanted to mention these. We have this winter Nationals Park between November 28th and December 4th, so essentially between Thanksgiving and, well, I guess it's a week. Is it December 4th?
That's it.
I may have miswrote that. It might be the 12th. Okay. Nationals Park will host Winter Wonderfest, which will have snow tubing, curling, a winter train, and fair and stadium snacks. I'm just going to look this up real quick just to make sure I didn't.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too. This is the 24th, so Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Okay.
I was that's short.
It's like a week. No. It's between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it is a big winter wonderland, Wonderfest with snow tubing. Apparently there'll be a snow tubing hill that you can go down. It's artificial, but you'll go down it and you can land at second base, which is kind of cool.
Fun.
There's, all kinds of games and snacks and stuff like that. And, nice way to sort of bring winter to a part of the country that doesn't typically get a harsh at least that early in the year. I mean, it does snow in DC, and sometimes very heavily and sometimes very badly.
My mom used to live up there. It was about 20 years ago. It was right outside of DC. She lived about 30 minutes, and we had a straight up blizzard.
Yeah.
And like she had an old Range Rover, it was an old used Range Rover. And I remember like going outside the next morning and seeing the snow halfway up the driver's side door. And I was like, we're not going anywhere for a while. That was scary.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm an East Coaster, and
Yeah.
as a kid, there were always, once every 2 years or so, there'd be this enormous blizzard or storm or whatever. And it does snow quite a bit. So it usually doesn't snow until like January, February.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, when it does snow in Christmas time or Thanksgiving time, it's a treat and it's fun. But typically it doesn't snow until later. So this is a good way of kind of bringing that here. So that's cool. Also, let's see, United Events and Lone Depot Park are teaming up to host the Miami Invitational tennis event. 2 singles matches are planned for December 8th at Lone Depot, including one with Carlos Alcaraz, who is the #1 tennis player in the world.
That's going to be cool.
I don't know tennis anymore. Like I followed it a little bit when I was living in New York. And of course it was the height of Nadal and Federer, and, Djokovic was kind of starting out and really becoming a big star. So that's when I was really following it. But this is cool, great, awesome tennis, fun.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good idea. I like doing that because I mean tennis is like kind of blowing up a little bit, I would say.
Yeah, it feels like every couple of years tennis like becomes a thing again.
I think pickleball has something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. July 11th, 2026, John Mulaney is going to host the first ever comedy show at Wrigley Field. It's part of his Mr. Whatever tour. So I like John Mulaney a lot.
He's great. Yeah.
If anybody, you need to watch his show on Netflix, which, what is it? What is it called? It is Everybody's Live with John Mulaney. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. To make this more baseball, I remember, what was it, 2 years ago, where he had he went on the Oscars. He wasn't hosting it, but he went on and he was talking about sound design, I think. He was presenting for sound design. And then he went on this whole thing and talked about Field of Dreams. Do you remember that? No. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. It was a few years ago. And he was talking about sound design and it was about writing as well, I think. I think it was sound design though, but he was talking about how if you build it, they will come. It's such a big line in the movies, baseball. And then he just kind of goes into the plot of Field of Dreams. And it's hilarious. Yeah. It's only the way that he does. Oh my God, you need to look it up. It's great. It's great.
I will. I mean, no, I've watched a lot of his stuff. I mean, his earlier stand-up specials were really great. I think Salt and Pepper Diner is one of the best.
Classic.
It's
classic.
And he's hilarious. And his show on Netflix, Everybody's Live, I think it's what it's called, is a weird offbeat talk show. It's just very weird. But it's my kind of humor. He's cool. But a comedy show at Wrigley's, he's from Chicago, so it's obviously a homecoming kind of a deal, and there'll be a lot of, it'll attract a lot of people. But that's a really interesting setup. I'm interested to see where's the stage, where is he looking out to, all that stuff. So it'll be cool to see. And then summer 2026, this is just announced. My Chemical Romance.
I want to go to this.
Putting on a huge summer tour that is taking them throughout several ballparks. So they're playing Citi Field, Nationals Park, Comerica Park, Target Field, Coors Field, Petco Park, Chase Field. They're also going to play the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. They're also going to Wembley Stadium in London and the Hollywood Bowl in LA. My Chemical Romance. So we're the same age. I kind of was out of rock music by the time My Chemical Romance was really big.
Okay.
My younger brother was more into Coheed and Cambria and sort of that sort of vibe. So I liked My Chemical Romance, but I didn't I liked that their big album. I forget what it's called.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
Welcome to the no.
Oh yeah. Come on. Yeah, it's that one piano key. And then when I was a young boy, my father took me to this.
I believe it's So Welcome to the Black Parade, and that's on it, and Cancer's on it, and anyways.
Helena, I'm Not Okay.
On it. Helena's on it. I'm Not Okay. Very good album. Good band. I think at this point, I feel like now most people play stadiums. I don't know, a lot of people play stadiums. Yeah. So to me, My Chemical Romance playing a ballpark feels really wow, well past their peak.
Yeah.
But
Because I know they just got done with a bigger tour. Because I know they played at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. I don't think they came to Houston, but my friends and I were talking about this actually on Monday. We're playing trivia, and they're like, "Oh yeah, did you see they're playing at the Alamo Dome and Mars Volta's opening?" And I'm like, excuse me." So
wow.
that might be something I might go check out because that'd be a great show.
That is definitely their fans are mostly between the ages of like 32 and 42 and
Yeah,
have discretionary income and will spend $250 to go see them, perform at a ballpark. So
yeah.
that's why you're doing it. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. I probably will not. I mean, I have been to like 2 concerts in the last 10 years or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if I'm going to go to any of these concerts, but good for the fans. That'll be a fun tour.
Find joy wherever you can these days. That's pretty important.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We will come right back in a moment here on Take Me Out. We're going to talk about the 2025 regular season, recapping some things, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever else. Stay with us here on Take Me Out. Welcome back to Take Me Out. Tim here, Alex there.
Hey there.
Yep. You don't seem so glum. You were glum to start. And
I mean, also my coffee's kind of kicking in too, so it's all
there
good.
you go.
Hey, it's great equalizer coffee.
Hey, it's now Texan season.
The 0-3 Texans is doing great.
Maybe not.
But then again, we have the Rockets coming up, and with Fred VanVleet being out for the entire season, hurting our chance. But we got Kevin Durant coming in. Who knows?
You got Durant. You're gonna make the playoff. You'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine. All right.
Sports. Yay.
Sports. I love sports.
I do too.
Sports. So we wanted to recap the 2025. I would keep wanting to say 2026 for some reason. Can we get there? I want to recap the 2025 season, go over the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, whatever else about this season that was, what we talked about over the last several months. So let's start with, this was a season when it started. I mean, a few months before it started, it was going to be any normal season or whatever at the ballpark. But then as the season got closer, we then found out that there would be 2 situations where teams would not be playing in their regular ballparks. Mm-hmm. And this season, we have had the Athletics playing at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, California. That will continue for at least 2 more seasons. And we also had the Tampa Bay Rays playing at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa because their ballpark, Tropicana Field, was destroyed by a hurricane last year. So it's been a full season with 2 teams playing in different places, minor league parks, attracting no more than like 12,000 people a night kind of thing. I wanted to go through sort of what the impressions were by and large from fans and players in those 2 places. And they're very stark. They're very different. It seems like mostly the Rays, their fans, the players, they're all kind of like, yeah, this was actually pretty decent at Steinbrenner Field. Things worked out okay. People in Sacramento with the A's, not so much. So we'll start with the Rays. We can attest
to that.
Well, yeah, I've been. It's been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the Rays. There's a piece that came out like a day or 2 ago from Adam Berry at MLB.com, and I'll just blow through some of the highlights here. So the Rays, they finished playing at Steinbrenner. They had their final home game on was it the 21st? They beat the Red Sox 7-3. They actually finished the season with a over 500 home record, 41-40. The Rays are not making the playoffs, but they had are they 500? They're around 500, right?
I would say so.
They are. Oh, they were actually a little bit under 500, 77-82.
Okay.
But they finished the season with an above 500 home record, which is cool. So what do we got here? We have Brendan Lau said going out on a winning note is a pretty good one. Fine. Let's see. This was good from the piece at MLB.com by Adam Berry. He says, as much as anything, the Rays thought back to the uncertainty they felt this time 6 months ago when club officials and staff were preparing for a frenzied 4-day move-in process. Not to mention the anxiety they felt between seeing the damage to the Trop and the news that they would only move as far as the Yankee spring training ballpark in Tampa. Ryan Pepiot says, quote, "A lot of people didn't necessarily know how it was going to be when you're playing in somebody else's place. I think somebody said early on, like, we're playing at an Airbnb park," which is really funny.
That's clever. I like that.
Ryan continues, "The first couple weeks, it did feel weird. You go into the Trop and you know it's home. The guys and the staff here made it feel like a home and made it feel like it's our place, rental place. But it's been fun."
That's nice.
The piece talks about how the clubhouse, because it's a Yankees clubhouse, their spring training clubhouse, it's all tricked out. It's very comfy. It's very luxurious. And that really helped the Rays feel like we are major league players playing in a ballpark that may not be a major league ballpark, but at least we feel like ourselves more. Talked about how it was more of a pitcher's park than they had imagined it would be, that the windy conditions made things a little bit more suppressed at the ballpark. The capacity at Steinbrenner is 10,046. They had an average attendance of 9,713.
It's not bad.
Like 95% full.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Total attendance, 786,750. That would have been an amazing attendance 70 years ago. Not as good this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, considering what they had to go through, considering how quick things, I mean, they had 4 days to turn the Yankees spring training park into a Rays regular season park. And, fans by and large thought it was totally fine. Fans in the Tampa St. Pete area didn't have to go too far to get their team. It's not like not like they had to go to Sacramento to see their team. So it was inconvenient, but the best kind of inconvenience, I guess you could ask for. The Rays seemed to be cool with it this year. They didn't have a playoff season, but they didn't necessarily have a terrible season. They actually had a good season at home. And it seems like everybody was very happy with the results. So that was really good. I mean, that's one of the big sort of pluses this year. And the Yankees should be applauded for giving the Rays the ballpark and letting them kind of run with it and, being inviting in that sense.
Yeah,
the Rays
absolutely.
should be, I guess, applauded for, doing what they could to make it happen. It just all around, like, it seems like a pretty good story with Steinbrenner Field this year.
It just shows that flexibilities can be really, really good. I mean, I just think, I love that. I think that both teams came out winners because, Yankees are the big bad of baseball, but it's like, it's heartwarming to see them do that. I'm not saying they're always bad or whatever, but, as an Astros fan. But it's pretty heartwarming seeing that happen. I love that. And I know I've said this so many times. It's just that Tampa is going to always have a special place in my heart just because they opened the doors so quickly and so welcoming to the Astros after Hurricane Harvey. And so I always have a huge appreciation for Tampa. So good things happen to good people.
Meanwhile, though, the A's moved into Sutter Health Park in Sacramento. And look, there weren't any stories about really bad things that happened. It's not like it was so bad that the A's couldn't play there anymore or anything like that. I mean, they're going to be there the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to play some games in Vegas next year, I guess, to kind of again grease the wheel and get people excited there or whatever. There's a story from sfgate.com. Alex Simon writes about the Sutter Health Park experience recently, and more or less it was a fan's view of the whole situation, and there were a lot of fans quoted, a lot of F John Fisher and sell the team and that kind of stuff. There's I don't have to read anything from it because it's just mostly like talking about how bad it was and then fan quotes and things like that. But very clearly from the jump, playing games in a different city that's a couple hours away from Oakland, that is not the home of the A's and never was.
Yeah.
And, being sort of this purgatory place in between the past and the memories of Oakland and what will be a future in Vegas, not a great setup, not a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not been a great thing for fans. I'm sure there are people in Sacramento who are appreciative of a major league team being there. I've talked to people in Sacramento who were appreciative of it. The ballpark is in West Sacramento across the river, so it's a little bit removed from downtown Sacramento and the historic area there, Old Town Sacramento. Um, so in that sense, it's not like this was a home run thing for the city, a home run thing for tourism there. They're not necessarily averaging 30,000 a game for a major league team. They are averaging, 8,000 a game or whatever it is there, 7,000 a game. The attendance is lower at Sutter Health Park this year than it was at Steinbrenner Field. So not as good an experience overall for Sacramento, for fans, for the Athletics. The A's, of course, complained about the clubhouses being a little bit tighter and being a little bit more hard to get to. There were some funny things that happened over the course of the season, like when a player from the Mets got injured. Was it like an A's Mets game, I believe? Remember this? Player gets injured and they had to bring the cart in from the bullpen, and the clubhouse is in the bullpens, so they had to drive the player who couldn't walk from the dugout to the bullpen in a cart.
I think I remember that.
This happened with the Phillies too. A player got hurt during a series with the Athletics, and the player had to go like from the clubhouse to the bullpens to the clubhouse, and it just very weird, ridiculous kind of stuff that was very common in 1938 in baseball, because that's how they constructed ballparks, but not common today.
That's when you should build a gondola just to go through that. Or the gondola.
Player gondola.
Yeah.
The fans were more or less like okay with the Sutter Health experience. Again, removed from downtown Sacramento and Old Town Sacramento, so not like you could necessarily enjoy the city and then immediately get to the ballpark. When I went to Old Town. I did the downtown stuff, and then I walked across the bridge, and then I walked down the the large boulevard that gets you down into the stadium area. Then I had to walk along through the stadium, and so that is not the safest, most accessible kind of adventure, and most people should not do that. It's more like you have to take an Uber or a Lyft if you're going to do that, or you're going to drive to the park or whatever. So again, not like from a fan standpoint, it was the most like all-encompassing, all-in-one experience. There were definitely things about it that need work, and maybe they'll work on those in the next couple of years. I don't know, because they're going to be the next 2 years. We'll see. But, overall, just this experience at Sutter Health this year, a lot left to do.
Yeah.
It just, it also didn't feel like an A's park. It didn't feel like the A's lived there. It didn't feel like the A's are part of the thing there. You compare that to Steinbrenner Field, where, a lot of people talked about how, they did turn it into the Rays park as much as they could, the signage at least, and the sense that the Rays are, this is the home team here. Like, that was really cool. Didn't feel like that at Sutter Health. The team store not selling anything that says the word Sacramento on it, basically. Like, you didn't feel any connection to the city with the team. It just, all that stuff is really unfortunate. And so overall, not a great, you had this great circumstance with Tampa, and things seemed to work out well with the Rays there, but not as great with the Athletics in Sacramento so far.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's so weird. Like, you look at the good things happening with Tampa and the Yankees hosting them compared to Oakland fans or A's fans. It's kind of an antithesis of I think it's how it's supposed to be done. But again, I mean, the River Cats, they're not a major league team, so they're not going to have a major league facility. But I don't know. You think a little help would be nice there, but I don't know.
Well, and I talked to fans who were at Sutter Health, A's fans, and every single one of them was like, it was hard for me to make this drive out here because it doesn't feel right. It feels ridiculous. It feels stupid. It feels embarrassing. It's anger inducing. It's frustrating. And, I think I mentioned this on the podcast, like, Sacramento to Oakland is a couple hours. Like, imagine if, the Phillies, my Phillies, were to leave Philadelphia and move to North Jersey, or move to the Poconos, or like, it's, what are we doing? It's weird. So it's just not the best circumstance. And obviously they're making the change to Vegas and all that. But, as far as a season-long experience, things could definitely be better there in Sacramento. We also had a lot of fans behaving badly this year. That is a topic that I feel like we went into quite a bit. We've had, let's see, fans having fights with vendors. We've had fans being too drunk and yelling at players and threatening players and saying really nasty things to players. We've had fans pleasing themselves in the stands.
Pleasing other fans,
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've heard about one fan pleasing themselves.
I don't think so.
I'm sure.
I'd like to not hear about it.
There had to have been one this year.
Oh,
but,
yeah. The odds, yeah. Just come on. Okay.
But of all the things, I mean, is there one story that sticks out to you from this season in the fans behaving badly category?
I mean, the freshest one in my mind is your gal Philly's Karen, but I mean, and I'm going to flip this on its head because I know we're talking about fans behaving badly. I want to talk about really cool thing about fan behaving awesome, which with the Cal Raleigh 60th home run, did you see that? How a guy caught the home run ball and gave it to a kid. He just gave it to a kid, and the kid got whisked away by the Mariners staff and everything, so they can get stuff for them. I'm sure he exchanged the ball for stuff, but then now the Mariners are looking for the fan who originally caught the ball, who gave it to the kids. So they're looking for that guy now too. I'm sure to thank him. And I'm like, I know this is not the question you asked, but that's just a great way to. I know we still have a series left and then the postseason. But that's just a happy way to end that season. I think.
I think that's a good.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. And that should be a lesson for fans who, when the ball comes to them and they're an adult and there's a kid nearby, if you give the kid the ball, the kid will be excited and it'll make their day. Sometimes you will get treated as well because you did a nice thing. We should reward people for doing nice things because it's getting rarer to see people just being nice in public. We more often see people being angry or frustrated or mean or evil or whatever.
It's better for the clicks,
Yeah, most of that is because that's what we highlight because we are trying to get outrage from people because we're feeding on people's fears and stuff like that. There's still a lot of nice things that happen in the world. We just don't put them on a pedestal like we do the mean things. But be nice and it will come around to you most of the time. So, it's really cool. That I think that's a good note.
I do too,
We had the Speedway Classic.
That's not a good note.
we thought could have been great, but was just a bad idea altogether. It rained. It was muddy. The food.
$17 for a hot dog wiener with no bun or whatever.
No one was prepared for 90,000 fans at a ballpark, and the food vendors were certainly not prepared for that, and they ran out of food early, and then the game got delayed, and so people needed more food, and there wasn't any more food to go around, and then the game got postponed, and then it happened the next day, and nobody really cared anymore, and it was bad. It was bad. It was one game. They overhauled an entire racetrack for one game.
And how much did that cost?
Stop it. Millions of dollars.
It's just that's a situation where you lose more money than you make. You're just like, you know what? We tried. Let's never do this again. But they are. So.
I continue to say baseball should come up with interesting series ideas, not just a one-off game, but a series where once a year, you get two teams together and you play a game in a reconstructed old stadium. You spend money to reconstruct the Polo Grounds and you have a Giants-Dodgers series in the Polo Grounds. Or you have two teams who are close to each other play a series in a minor league park in that region of the world that they are in. So I've talked about this. I've said this before on the podcast. If the Cubs are playing, the Twins, let's say, maybe not like the Cubs and Cardinals, maybe not the Cubs and Brewers, but the Cubs are playing the Twins, play a 3-game series in Iowa where the Iowa Cubs are. And so people who live in, where the Iowa Cubs are can actually go see the big league Cubs without having to drive over to Chicago. like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like do that more. The more often, like do that kind of stuff, and you're gonna get more goodwill. You're gonna have more fans being happy with your product. Yes, you will lose a little bit of attendance because you're going to a minor league park or whatever. But like that's the long run. The longer play is far more beneficial for your team, for your league, whatever. So Speedway Classic sucked. Little League Classic was good though. That was a fun thing this year. The Mets played the Mariners at the Little League Classic in Williamsport, and kids seemed to have a great time riding down the hill with Brandon Nimmo, I believe it was, and surrounding Cal Raleigh and getting autographs and all that stuff, and that seemed to be a big, really good time. So, any other big stories from the 2025 season that I'm forgetting? I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but
when you have 162 games to keep track of, you're going to lose a few. But
how do you feel about the Daikin Park after one season? Are you feeling better with the name change, or how is that?
I think it's the name change that's responsible for all the injuries. Just kidding. It's it's kind of it's not a fun season to attribute with the name change, but I didn't have a problem with it. I'd like to see if possibly, since we are named after an air conditioning company now, we can do something about the air conditioning or lack thereof, because or just to keep it consistent in there, man. That's my only thing, and I'm sure a lot of fans would agree with me, because it can get really, really hot in there, and that's one of the
I was there for the last regular season game on the 21st, and it was nice. It was totally fine in the park, but I hear you. You don't want it to be too cold that you have to like bundle up and wear a sweater or whatever, but you don't want it to be too hot that you're you're needing water and you're.
Because I went to, I think this was during that stretch where I went to 7 games in 10 days, and I remember one game, 2 games in a row, I sat in the Crawford boxes, and one game, it was in the section I was in, I could not stop sweating. Like, it was so hot. Like, I was like tempted to go to the team store and spend $20 on getting a little electric fan. But I was just like fanning myself the entire time. And I meant to go to Target the next day and actually just get like a cheap fan or whatever, but I forgot. And, but then I went and I sat in the section over from where I was the night before, and like, it was freezing. And it's just like from one section to another, which is, 20, 30 feet. And it's like, how is the AC that inconsistent over there? But I hope that can be addressed. Other than that, I really didn't have any complaints. I think it's still home to me. So.
But the name's okay.
Name's fine, yeah. Uber is catching up with it. It says Daikin Park, formerly Minute Maid Park, and everything, so to kind of keep people. But yeah, name change. I'm good with it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a big problem with it. I mean, I like Minute Maid it's a better flow.
But and it's got more of a baseball sound to it, like Minute, because it's like it's happy. It's it's Minute Maid.
It's oranges. It's oranges.
It's oranges. Yeah, like that's what the little league players eat when they're with their between innings, they're eating oranges. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
No, Daikin is a little harder, a little more industrial.
I'm sure they're wonderful people, but come on.
HVAC, great stuff.
Yes, we need it, please. Thank you.
I think that's it for our 2025 recap. An eventful season with a lot of changes in some places, but overall, I think when you kind of zoom out a little bit, there were ballpark changes and stuff like that, but a pretty normal season otherwise, except for the fans behaving badly. But there are fans who behave good, so keeping
exactly.
But we will end that up, and we will move on Take Me Out. We are heading toward the playoffs now, and we will come back in just a moment here on the podcast, and we will wrap things up. Stay with us.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us. Give us a follow. If you're listening to us on Spotify, give us 5 stars. Listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. iHeartRadio, 5 stars. Any podcast platform of your choosing, 5 stars would be amazing. Like, comment, subscribe. Same on YouTube, youtube.com/takemeoutpod. We would love follow, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We're also on Instagram at takemeoutpod. And we're also on Patreon. Tim, to you.
Patreon.com/takemeout. We have special episodes of the podcast that you can only find there. including a review of Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, a review of Globe Life Field in Arlington, and a guide to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Those are all on patreon.com/takemeout. Just sign up for one of the tiers. We have a $3 Loge tier, the Loge section, and then we have the $5 Field tier, which gives you a little bit more. You can get the special episodes on both tiers, but the Field level, you get some other swag as well along the way. So again, patreon.com/takemeout. Sign up, get those special episodes. You will get more stuff from me going forward. We're going to do more guides and reviews. We're going to do special episodes that you can only find there. So sign up. It is worth it. I swear to you it is. Patreon.com/takemeout. Back here on Take Me Out, final segment. So regular season is wrapping up, and we still have a couple games left as far as the recording here is concerned. But we have enough to kind of go by to, a little game here, a little trivia question for you, Alex.
Yeah.
I want you to name the 5 best home records in baseball this year and the 5 worst home records in baseball this year. Who are the 5 teams with the best home records in baseball? And don't look at the doc because I whited it out. So if you're looking,
hands up. I'm not looking at anything. Okay.
If you're looking at the doc, though, scroll up or something so you can't see.
Okay. I can't see. I mean, I'm looking at it now, and it just looks like top 5 home records, and then just a paragraph empty.
I might have to.
That's okay. Cool. I'll just.
So I can see.
I'm looking at one of the articles now. All right, okay. I'm going to for the winning records. We're not talking about attendance; it's winning records.
Top 5 home records. Oh, yes, top 5 home records. Sorry.
Okay. I'm probably going to start with the Dodgers.
Okay.
I want to say probably Seattle.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're 3 for 3.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'm going with my gut here. Milwaukee? Maybe?
That's 4.
Real? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm nervous now. Oh, my God. I'm so nervous now. Who else has been really good this season?
This is great podcasting.
This is, yeah. Hope you folks like uncomfortable silences. And I'll just Yankees.
Not the Yankees.
Damn.
But
okay.
Same division.
Red Sox? No.
Same division.
Oh my God.
You got 2 of the 3 teams that are really good in that division. Who's the other one?
Oh my God. Oh God.
They're probably going to be the number 1 seed in the American League this year.
Why can't I think? Oh my God. Who is it? I can't do it.
They play in the other country.
Oh, yeah, Toronto.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. Wow, I went at 4 for 5. That's not bad. That's really good. Oh,
I mean,
cool.
so it's basically the 5 best teams in baseball this year.
Okay, well that's not that hard. Yeah.
So okay. The Phillies are 53-25. They're in first right now. The Dodgers have 52 wins. The Blue Jays, Mariners, and Brewers all have 51 wins at home.
Okay.
Bottom 5 home records. The worst home records in baseball.
We go with Athletics.
One of the 5. Yeah.
Yeah. White Sox.
That's 2.
That's 2. Okay. Minnesota Twins.
That's 3.
Oh my God, I'm on fire today.
2 more.
Are Cardinals?
Not the Cardinals.
No, not the Cardinals. What about the Nationals?
That's 1. Yeah,
Really?
that's
Oh
4.
my God. Okay.
Last one. And then, I mean, so you just think about it. If you have a really bad home record, that means you're probably really bad total, right?
Colorado has. What about Colorado? that it? Rockies? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Good job, me. All right. Top 5.
Yeah, so the Twins and Athletics have 35 wins at home this year.
Oh,
The
that's
White
so.
Sox have 34 wins or 33 wins. The Nationals have 31 wins, and the Rockies have a home record of 25-56.
I'm
miserable.
uncomfortable hearing that number. That's
Now,
that's like I feel so, I'm like I get secondhand embarrassment from that. Good Lord.
the
Ugh.
interesting thing, so attendance wise, and we won't guess here, but
Yeah.
the top 5 teams by attendance, average attendance, I'll say, not total attendance, but average attendance. The Dodgers are in first, 49,000 per game. The Dodgers,
That's not
Dodger
shocking.
Stadium is so much larger than every other ballpark in baseball now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 9,000 seats more capacity than any other ballpark.
It takes 4.5 hours to get there, but yeah.
And they sell a lot of tickets for that, so it's what it is.
Right.
Dodgers are in first. San Diego has second most.
Okay.
42,347 at this point. The Yankees are third in attendance. The Phillies are fourth in attendance, and the Mets are fifth in attendance.
Okay.
So those
all makes sense to me.
And then your bottom 5 are the Athletics are in last place in attendance.
Tampa,
yeah. Obviously. The Marlins, who are always in the bottom 5 in attendance. The White Sox, who of course are miserable, and of course nobody likes ownership here. The Pirates. The Pirates have the 5th worst attendance.
Can you look up what the other next 2 are? Because I almost don't think that that Athletics and Tampa should count since those are not major league parks.
The next 2 are Kansas City and Minnesota.
Okay.
So yeah, Kansas City. I mean, a little surprising for the Royals that they haven't had as good season as far as attendance is concerned. They were in the playoffs last year, so you would think it would carry over. But they also have been disappointing this year, so maybe that just kind of fell off. Minnesota, they've had poor attendance all year, and there's been a lot of talk about that and how bad it's been. So
I'm kind of shocked that Cardinals aren't on that list because they've been.
Yeah, the Cardinals. Yeah, for all the hand wringing everybody's been doing about the Cardinals and their attendance woes.
It's like it's not that bad. It could be worse.
They're 19th. 19th.
19th. Wow. That's you're still in the That's not
They've
bad.
averaged 27,777. They've gotten over 2 million fans at Busch Stadium this year. So stop complaining about the Cardinals.
Exactly. Not to go on.
Golly gee. Man. What a fall from grace to 19th place. There you go. So those are your attendance figures. That's that. It's been a fun year at the ballpark. It's going to get fun in the playoffs. We're going to have playoff games at Yankee Stadium, at Citizens Bank Park, at Dodger Stadium, at Fenway Park potentially, at T-Mobile, like some of the great playoff ballparks. If you heard our last episode where we ranked all the playoff ballparks, you can go see what our number 1 is. But there'll be some really cool playoff atmospheres coming up here in October.
I also love it when the Red Sox and the Yankees are in the playoffs. It's when they play each other. I think it heals something inside of me. It's like it's one of the fiercest rivalries of all of sports, not just baseball, all of sports. And just like when they play each other in the playoffs, it's cool, man. It's electric. I love it. And you have a hard time picking which team to choose because you hate them both, but it's like, let's go. It's great. Wow. I love it.
maybe next week I'll tell next week I'll tell my stories about being in Boston during that run in 03 and 04.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
Playing the Yankees and the LCSs those years and how crazy that was. But
yes.
But that's next week, playoff time. We'll get there. That is it. Thank you for listening to Take Me Out. We will see you next time out. And for Take Me Out, I'm Tim.
And I'm Alex. And for one more series, it's baseball season.
See you later.
See ya.
All right.